Good evening. Uh, it's a bit later than I tend to read, but I'm going to try to get through to chapter 20, 17, 18, and 19 done tonight at least. I want to get Jubilees done here quickly. And there's a few other of the Apocryphal I want to start on. Baruch is one of them, and I can't even think of the other one right now. But anyways, my eyes are getting tired because it is later in the evening. So I'm gonna try and give it a go and see how well I can read here right now. So bear with me, and I probably again sound a little bit stuffed up. I don't know what it is, but I'm stuffy again today. So, um, all right, Jubilee 17. And in the first year of the 5th week, Isaac was weaned in this Jubilee. And Abraham made a great banquet in the 3rd month on the day of his son Isaac was weaned. And Ishmael, the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, was before the face of Abraham, his father, in his place. And Abraham rejoiced and blessed God because he had seen his sons and had not died childless. And he remembered the words which he had spoken to him on the day on which Lot had parted from him. And he rejoiced because the Lord had given him seed upon the earth to inherit the earth. And he blessed with all his mouth the Creator of all things. And Sarah saw Ishmael playing and dancing, and Abraham rejoicing with great joy. And she became jealous of Ishmael, and said to Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman will not be heir with my son Isaac. This story upsets me every time I hear it. The way his wife behaved. First of all, I didn't agree with. I know things were different back then, but with her telling him to sleep with her bondswoman to give him a son, that's just going to cause problems, as it did, obviously. But anywho, and the thing was grievous in Abraham's sight because of his maidservant and because of his son, that he should drive them from him. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have told my wife, I'm sorry, but you're nuts if you think I'm throwing them out and getting rid of them. She was the one that pushed this. This was her idea. And God said to Abraham, Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the child and because of the bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto thee. Hearken to her words and do them. For in Isaac shall thy name and seed be called. Okay, so I guess I'd probably listen to the Most High if that's what he told me. But as for the son of this bondwoman, I will make him a great nation, because he is of thy seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread, a bottle of water, and placed them on the shoulders of Hagar and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water in the bottle was spent, and the child thirsted, and was not able to go on, and fell down. And his mother took him, and cast him under an olive tree, and went and sat her down over against him, at the distance of a bow shot. For she said, Let me not see the death of my child. And as she sat, she wept. I'm struggling to breathe through my nose as I'm trying to read. And an angel of God, one of the holy ones, said unto her, Why weepest thou, Hagar? Arise, take the child, and hold him in thine hand, for God hath heard thy voice, and hath seen the child. And she opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled her bottle with water, and she gave her child to drink. And she arose and went towards the wilderness of Paran. And the child grew and became an archer, and God was with him. And his mother took him a wife from among the daughters of Egypt. And she bare him a son, and he called his name Nebaioth. These names I have a hard time pronouncing. For she said, The Lord was nigh to me when I called upon him. And it came to pass in the 7th week, in the 1st year thereof, in the 1st month, in this Jubilee, on the 12th of this month, there were voices in heaven regarding Abraham, that he was faithful in all that he told him, and that he loved the Lord, and that in every affliction he was faithful. And the prince Mastema came and said before God, Behold, Abraham loves Isaac his son, and he delights in him above all things else. Bid him offer him a burnt offering on the altar, and thou wilt see if he will do this command, and thou wilt know if he is faithful in everything wherein thou dost try him. And the Lord knew that Abraham was faithful in all his afflictions, for he had tried him through his country and with famine, and he had tried him with the wealth of kings, and he had tried him again through his wife, when she was torn from him, and with circumcision, and had tried him through Ishmael and Hagar, his maidservant, and he sent them away. And in everything wherein he had tried him, he was found faithful, and his soul was not impatient, and he was not slow to act, for he was faithful and a lover of the Lord. Pretty interesting to meet that guy, right? One day, hang out with Abraham. And God said to him, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. Here am I. And he said, Take thy beloved son, whom thou lovest, even Isaac, and go into the high country, and offer him on one of the mountains which I will point out unto thee. And he rose early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took his 2 young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood of the burnt offering, and he went to the place on the 3rd day, and he saw the place afar off. And he came to a well of water, and he said to his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad shall go yonder, and when we have worshipped, we shall come to you again. And he took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it on Isaac his son, and he took in his hand the fire and the knife, and they went both of them together to that place. And Isaac said to his father, Father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said unto him, Behold the fire and the knife and the wood, but where is the sheep for the burnt offering, father? And he said, God will provide for himself a sheep for a burnt offering, my son. And he drew near to the place of the mount of God. And he built an altar, and he placed the wood on the altar, and bound Isaac his son, and placed him on the wood which was the altar, and stretched forth his hand to take the knife to slay Isaac his son. I can't even imagine. But if the Lord tells you to do something, you better listen. And I stood before him, and before the prince Mastema, and the Lord said, Bid him not to lay his hand on the lad, nor to do anything to him, for I have shown that he fears the Lord. And I called to him from heaven, and said unto him, Abraham, Abraham. And he was terrified, and said, Behold, here am I. And I said unto him, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything to him, for now I have shown that thou fearest the Lord, and hast not withheld thy son, thy firstborn son, from me. And the prince Mastema was put to shame, and Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a ram caught by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered it for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called that place, The Lord hath seen, so that it is said that the mount the Lord hath seen, that is Mount Sion. And the Lord called Abraham by his name a second time from heaven, as he caused us to appear to speak to him in the name of the Lord. And he said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy beloved son, from me, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is on the seashore, and thy seed shall inherit the cities of its enemies. And in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice, and I have shown to all that thou art faithful unto me, and all that I have said unto thee. Go in peace. And Abraham went to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt by the well of the oath. And he celebrated this festival every year 7 days with joy, and he called it the festival of the Lord, according to the 7 days during which he went and returned in peace. and according has it been ordained and written on the heavenly tablets regarding Israel and its seed, that they should observe the festival 7 days with the joy of festival. Jubilees 19. And in the first year of the first week, in the 42nd Jubilee, Abraham returned and dwelt opposite Hebron, that is Kirjath Arba, 2 weeks of years. And in the first week of the third week of this Jubilee, the days of the life of Sarah were accomplished, and she died in Hebron. And Abraham went to mourn over her and bury her. And we tried him to see if his spirit were patient, and he were not indignant in the words of his mouth. And he was found patient in this, and was not disturbed. For in patience of spirit he conversed with the children of Heth, to the intent that they should give him a place in which to bury his dead. And the Lord gave him grace before all who saw him, and he besought in gentleness the sons of Heth, and they gave him the land of the double cave over against Mamre, that is Hebron, for 400 pieces of silver. And they besought him, saying, We shall give it to thee for nothing. But he would not take it from their hands for nothing, for he gave the price of the place, the money in full. And he bowed down before them twice, and after this he buried his dead in the double cave. And all the days of the life of Sarah were 127 years, that is 2 jubilees and 4 weeks, and 1 year. These are the days of the years of the life of Sarah. This is the 10th trial wherewith Abraham was tried, and he was found faithful, patient in spirit. And he said not a single word regarding the rumor in the land, how that God had said that he would give it to him and to his seed after him, and he begged a place there to bury his dead, for he was found faithful, and he was recorded on the heavenly tablets as the friend of God. That's quite an honor. And in the 4th year thereof he took a wife for his son Isaac, and her name was Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, the brother of Abraham, the sister of Laban, and daughter of Bethuel. And Bethuel was the son of Milcah, who was the wife of Nahor, the brother of Abraham. And Abraham took to himself a third wife, and her name was Keturah, from among the daughters of his household servants, for Hagar had died before Sarah, and she bare him 6 sons, Zimran, and Joshan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua, in the 2 weeks of years. And in the 6th week, in the 2nd year thereof, Rebekah bare to Isaac 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. And Jacob was a smooth and upright man, and Esau was fierce, a man of the field, and hairy, and Jacob dwelt in tents. And the youths grew, and Jacob learned to write, but Esau did not learn, for he was a man of the field, and a hunter. And he learned war, and all his deeds were fierce. And Abraham loved Jacob, but Isaac loved Esau. And Abraham saw the deeds of Esau, and he knew that in Jacob should his name and seed be called. And he called Rebekah, and gave commandment regarding Jacob, for he knew that she too loved Jacob much more than Esau. And he said unto her, My daughter, watch over my son Jacob, for he shall be in my stead on the earth, and for a blessing in the midst of the children of men, and as for the glory of the whole seed of Shem. For I knew that the Lord will choose him to be a people for possession unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And behold, Isaac my son loves Esau more than Jacob, but I see that thou truly lovest Jacob, and still further to thy kindness to him, and let thine eyes be upon him in love, for he shall be a blessing unto us on the earth from henceforth unto all generations of the earth. Let thy hands be strong, and let thy heart rejoice in thy son Jacob, for I have loved him far beyond all my sons. He shall be blessed forever, and his seed shall fill the whole earth. If a man can number the sand of the earth, his seed also shall be numbered. and all the blessings wherewith the Lord hath blessed me, and my seed shall belong to Jacob and his seed always. And in his seed shall my name be blessed, and the name of my fathers Shem and Noah, and Enoch and Mahale, and Enos and Seth and Adam. And these shall serve to lay the foundations of the heaven, and to strengthen the earth, and to renew all the luminaries which are in the firmament. And he called Jacob before the eyes of Rebekah his mother, and kissed him, and blessed him, and said, Jacob, my beloved son, whom my soul loveth, may God bless thee from above the firmament. Above where? Firmament. What is that? How does that work on a giant ball that flies through space? Guess it probably doesn't, does it? So do we believe modern man and science, or do we believe the Word of God? May he give thee all the blessings wherewith he blessed Adam and Enoch and Noah and Shem, and all the things of which he told me, and all the things which he promised to give me. May he cause to cleave to thee and to thy seed forever, according to the days of heaven above the earth. And the spirits of Mastema shall not rule over thee, or over thy seed, to turn thee from the Lord, who is thy God from henceforth forever. And may the Lord God be a father to thee, and thou the firstborn son, and to the people always. Go in peace, my son. And they both went forth together from Abraham. And Rebekah loved Jacob with all her heart and with all her soul, very much more than Esau. But Isaac loved Esau more than Jacob. All right. That's it for now. Man, I can't breathe. I'm going to make a late dinner here and then probably go to bed. But if I still feel awake for a little bit, I'm going to read a few more chapters. So thank you for listening. Have a good night.